so much for coming on to this Zoom meeting, and I just would like to ask you a couple of questions in regarding the treatment protocol we did just recently on FSM. And FSM is frequency specific microcurrent. I know you've been a patient of mine for a long time, and there were several things we wanted to address with this microcurrent. And I've been really waiting to have just an incredible, like more of an instant success kind of story. And it happened with you. And I'd like you to be able to share what happened with the treatment that we had for your voice.
As you said, I've been coming to you for many years, I think something like 27 years. And one of the things I really appreciate about coming to you and the treatments that I get from you is that you use a whole lot of different therapies. And that seems to help and work. And you recently added the FSM treatment to your arsenal. And I happily agreed to try doing that. And we've been doing that for a little bit. But in the meantime, I had been having a lot of trouble with my voice. I had the flu. And then as part of that in the recovery, my voice became very scratchy and difficult. And then it very slowly degraded over a period of 3 months to the point that I could barely speak. I had to suck in air and force sound out. It was difficult to do. It tired me out. And I was feeling kind of desperate when I was coming to you for one of these new FSM treatments for another part of my body. And I asked you if we could try it on my voice. And we did. And we had 3 treatments. And at the end of 3 treatments, my voice is back to completely normal. It's 100% back where it was. In the interim, I had been to see an ENT doctor for the voice, and he'd done some checking and then scheduled me for some imaging. But in the meantime, it continued to get worse. They hadn't found anything. And I couldn't wait any longer to wait for all of this other stuff to happen. So it was a miracle. I mean, it really was, because I was desperate at the end of 3 months. And here I am now. I'm myself, and my friends and family all say, my God, you're back to who you were. And I actually feel like I'm back to myself. I don't feel sick anymore. I don't feel anything. So I'm real pleased with the FSM treatment and what it did for my voice.
Thank you so much for sharing. The only thing I am so sorry that I don't have for the people that are viewing this is what your voice sounded like when you came in and you did have this issue for several months. And I could explain it like you sound like the Godfather.
Well, no, it kind of what it sounded like at its very worst was, "Hi, Dr. Allen, how are you doing?" And I had to take deep breaths and push it out, and it was horrible. I mean, I had to cut, my whole life was truncated at that point because I couldn't really socialize because it was so hard for me to speak and communicate. I wasn't phoning people. My life is back now.
That's great. And I can remember vividly that first treatment where we approached the voice, and during like the halfway, you started to talk again. And my jaw dropped. I think your jaw dropped. It's just really amazing to be involved with another therapy for myself that could bring miracles. And I'm really thrilled that I was able to help you with this. And then we have some more work to do, don't we?
Yes, we do. Some other parts of my body, but
Okay,
we're getting.
We'll continue. And I just want, once again, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing that
Well,
with whoever wants.
thank you for continuing to try new treatments.
Okay, thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.